Hello and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, which is done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Eozander, and I am joined by
The Slayer.
the Slayer. And today is Freya's Day, also known as Friday, October 21st, 2022. 10 more days, people. Here we go. Until Halloween. So, would you like to start us off today in the year 310?
Oh yeah, for sure. In the year 310, Saint Eusebius ends its reign as Catholic Pope.
Oh, alright.
In 335, Roman Emperor Constantine the Great rules that Jews are not allowed to purchase and circumcise Christian slaves.
Okay,
Wow.
that makes sense, kind of. Like,
Makes a little bit of sense.
well, because think about it, like, they'd probably mistreat them really badly, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying anything against Jews, I'm just saying, like, hey,
I know what you mean.
like, if you are of a religion that has killed the Messiah of a religion that stemmed out of yours, and you have slaves of that religion, you're not going to treat them that well. I mean, you won't treat slaves well anyway, but you'll intentionally, like, go out of your way to further mistreat them just because of what they believe versus what you. And that's just, anybody would do that, not just Jewish to Christians, but I mean, look at what the Muslims are doing to everybody, including other Muslims,
Yeah.
Shiite and Sunni, So, anyway, Protestant Reformation, look at this. Speaking of religions.
In 1512, Martin Luther joins the theological faculty of the University of Wittenberg.
Oh, okay.
He was, back in that time, he was a huge deal.
Oh, yeah,
Martin
well,
Luther
no.
was, like, one of the most important people of that time.
Well, yeah, like, wasn't he excommunicated from the church and, like, threatened to be killed and stuff like that?
I think that was him, yeah.
Yeah. Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King. So.
And there's another huge name
Yeah,
from
it
back in
is.
that time.
In 1520, explorer Ferdinand Magellan and his fleet reached Cape Virgines and became the first Europeans to sail into the Pacific Ocean. Well, look at that. Huh.
Nice.
The first Europeans in the Pacific. That is really cool.
That was over 500 years ago. It was 502 years ago.
Yes, it was. Wow.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Then, 1555, Emperor Charles V made Erad of Paladant Earl of Kuilemburg. Borg, or whatever. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, 1639, sea battle at Dunes, Lieutenant Admiral Martin Tromp defeated Spanish Armada under D. Oquendo. Huh. Tromp.
Trump.
If you just cut the O in half, you have Trump.
Yep.
Dang.
You get Donald Trump.
It was the best sea battle of all time. I guarantee you that. There's nothing to be concerned about.
Nothing to be concerned about. We beat the Spanish Armada.
That was great. Dude, that's a flex right there, dude. Just talking to people, yeah, their armada is trash. We have a better armada. It's full of eagles and it's better. Just
Yeah,
I guarantee you that.
America written all over it.
Dude, I don't know why that was so good. Like,
It just sounds it sounds like something he would say.
dude, that is.
He's just like, oh, you pathetic Spanish Armada. You're not above the United States of America.
Well, they weren't. We did go to war with Spain at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, your turn now here in 1803.
In 1803, English scientist John Dalton reads his paper on The Absorption of Gases by Water to the Manchester Literary and Philosophical SOC, first outline of his atomic theory.
Wow. All the way back in 1800s, they were starting to learn about atomics. That's wild. By the way, I think SOC stands for society.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
If we're not mistaken.
Oh well, here we go. Speaking of the Spanish Armada, it's not a threat.
In 1805, Battle of Trafalgar, British Admiral Horatio Nelson defeats the combined French and Spanish fleet. Nelson shot and killed during battle.
Damn. I laid down my life for my countrymen.
He gave his life for his country.
Oh my god, dude, you're so good at that. Dude, seriously, have you thought about being a voice actor or something, or like?
Dude, I wish.
No, seriously.
I could. I've been trying to. There was a couple times I attempted it, but.
Audience, listen to this. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Peter. How you doing?
Hey, yeah, I'm just saying, like.
Sees a tank, starts screaming, and gets ran over by it.
Hey, this is why you don't buy mirrors off of eBay, and then stare at them longingly, lovingly, very calm, because then the tanks will come for you. They're ambush predators. They're waiting for you to drop your guard. So.
And ironically piloted by Peter.
Yes, it is. Oh
that was the best part. Peter and Chris pop out of there. It's like, what's up, man?
It's like, oh my god, what happened to you? You look like a toothpaste. Like, you fucking asshole, you ran him over. Just running over entire cars. Oh, I think we hit a curb. No, you hit a vehicle. You ran over a vehicle.
No. Oh no, we ran a paraplegic over. Now he looks like a toothpaste bottle.
Oh god. Anyway, 1854. Good lord.
In 1854, Florence Nightingale, with a staff of 38 nurses, is sent to the Crimean War.
Yes, Florence Nightingale.
The Crimean War.
Yep. Moving on up into, well, let's see, this is weird. In 1869, the first shipment of fresh oysters came overland from Baltimore. Okay. So they're, I think that's like when they're starting to refrigerate things, when they were using the blocks of ice to keep the train cars cool and such. In 1878, German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck delegated end of socialism. I know. Yeah, that didn't happen, unfortunately. Yeah. And then moving on up into 1915, William Jennings Bryan's successor as U.S. Secretary of State, Robert Lansing, sent a note to Britain protesting interference with U.S. shipping.
Huh.
Oh, so I guess they were talking about like maybe the Germans' interference by 1915. We were sending them supplies and such during the First World War. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of the First World War, this 1917 one, the first one.
In 1917, first Americans to see action on front lines of World War I. U.S. troops enter front lines at Somerville under French command.
That must have been like annoying though. Like you're out there fighting, and then the people you're fighting for are giving you orders. It's like, hey bitch, I'm here to help you. Stop barking orders at me, you fuck. Like.
They start throwing bread at you.
You got baguettes. Oui, oui. Oh.
Yeah, that's their. It turns out that's their sword. It's a baguette.
Yeah.
Pretty good weapon, surprisingly.
Anyway, ooh. Well, look at this. 1918. Yeah.
In 1918, Margaret Owen sets world record typing speed. I had said that with the wrong words in the wrong places, but I said the right thing. But yeah, world typing speed record of 170 words per minute for 1 minute.
So she typed out 170 words in 60 seconds.
That's
Wow.
impressive.
So that's more than 2 words a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you move that fast? Good lord. Wow. Anyway, we got a film premiere here.
In 1921, The Sheik, I think that's how you say it, I think it's The Sheik,
Yep.
a silent film starring Rudolph Valentino, premieres in Los Angeles.
Oh. It looks like a guy in brownface or something, because, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess back then you didn't really need to color the face that much, because, it's black and white. Before, they had color and such. Moving on up in 1937, Francisco Franco's troops occupied Gijón. Where is Gijón? Let's see here. It's a city in Spain. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is Francisco Franco. Okay, so yeah, he was a Spanish revolutionary during the Spanish Civil War that happened literally right before the Second World War. So.
Yeah.
Ooh. 1940, the Royal Air Force drops first anti-Nazi pamphlets in the Netherlands. Yeah, there's a lot of missions where they flew over enemy occupied territory and whatnot, and just drop pamphlets, drop supplies, chocolates, foods, stuff like that. There was even during D-Day, there was even fake paratroopers. There are these 2 foot tall or something wooden dummies. But they're they're outfitted, with small, versions of all the uniforms and everything, and they're paradropped, and from a distance, you can't tell, they only look, they look like normal paratroopers, you can't tell in the dark of night, depth of field stuff that well, so it distracted that entire area, and kept them off of the main landing for a day or so. Anyway, you got some music here in 1940. Or 44.
In 1944, Walter Piston's Fugue for a Victory tune premieres in New York City.
Huh. Alright. Ooh. 1944, the last one here.
In 1944, World War II, U.S. troops capture Aachen, first large German city of fall. Well, city to fall.
Yep. Now, I wonder if that's the first large German city to fall to us, or to fall in general, because, does that mean that we...
I think it was the first major, the first, actually, really big city to actually, for us to take over.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, because, wouldn't the Russians have beat us, as well? But no, they were pretty far inland in their own territory, so they were trying to push the Germans out, and then they'd be going into their land. So, but then 1945 here, look at that.
Oh, interesting. In 1945, women in France allowed to vote for the first time.
Why is that not highlighted?
I have no idea.
That should be highlighted, like this one, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
In 1949, author of Brave New World, Aldous Huxley, writes to congratulate George Orwell on his new novel, 1984.
Here we go. Yep, now we're living it. Oh, 1950, Chinese forces occupied Tibet. Oh, wonderful. And then 4 years later, 1954, Dorothy Parker / Arnaud de Uccellu's Ladies of the Corridor premiered. Alright. And then 1958, first woman in the British House of Lords. Okay.
Interesting.
Dang, it took all that time.
Took them about 1,958 years, but they got there.
Well, I mean, when did the British even start?
I don't even know. I think they've only been around. They haven't been around super long.
When did the British? When did the?
Well, the United Kingdom was founded in 1922.
How old is England?
Yeah, England.
10th century.
So.
All right, but when was the 10th century?
That was back when that was when the Welsh had the kingdom by their. That's when they held the entire area, I believe. I think they were the original. Like they were the original British, like the ones that we dealt with.
The 10th century was between 901 to 1000 AD.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had 1,000 some odd years.
Yeah.
So.
I was say because I believe. Yeah, the current British that you see today are not the original. They're not the actual British.
Oh yeah, no,
They
I'm just
are
talking
British.
about,
Like they're British, like they're native, but the Welsh are the actual British.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I'm talking about
those
just
are the
like
ones that we deal with.
I'm talking about just like how long has that country and its peoples and whatnot existed, you know? So they've existed for about like 1,000, 100 years, give or take, and so it took until like 1,000 years until like the first woman could be in the House of Lords. Whenever the House of Lords started.
Yeah.
When did the British House start? 1801.
1801. Okay.
So 155 years. 155 years. Okay. Still. Anyway, what happened in 1959?
In 1959, Guggenheim Museum, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, opens in New York.
Ah. Ooh, 1960.
In 1960, first British nuclear sub, HMS Dreadnought, launched.
HMS Dreadnought. Which, Dreadnought was actually the name of the ship, which sparked the entire battleship industry and the whole, like, build bigger and everything thing. Like, that's where the term Dreadnought comes from, because that's the name of the actual ship. So that's cool that they use that name. Because the U.S., the Enterprise has been our flagship since the start, you know?
Yeah.
We all know the Enterprise is an aircraft carrier, but did you know there's been, like, 12 variations? It started off as, like, a wooden ship, and then, then a cruiser, then a battleship, and then a aircraft carrier, and, then it's going to be a starship one day.
So, did you know Air Force One has landed less times than it has taken off? Did you know about this? It actually involves Nixon. It was when he was taken out of office.
How is
He
that
was taken
possible?
out of because the president, Air Force One is only considered Air Force One when the president is on board.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the whole. So, the next guy, I believe, who was the next guy after Nixon? Wasn't it?
Johnson. No, not
Yeah,
Johnson.
no, not Johnson. No,
Ford?
Was it Ford?
I think
it was
we were
Ford.
talking about this earlier. Who was after Nixon? Yeah, Gerald Ford.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, he was sworn in while Nixon was on what was the Air Force One.
Yeah.
And Nixon was no longer the president once they, like, everyone portrays it to be that's the plane. It's the name of the plane, but that's not what it is.
There's actually two identical Air Force One planes. For the same reason as why there's like 3 or more identical beasts. So that way you don't actually know where he is, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened in 1960? What else happened there?
Also in 1960, JFK and Nixon clashed in the fourth and final presidential debate in New York City.
The way it sounds, like, they put on the gloves to get in the ring.
Started debating.
Imagine JFK and Nixon, like, box debating. It's like, I disagree with your statement. Counter argument, left jab. And it was actually an uppercut. But then you got some music history here in 61.
In 1961, Barbara Streisand opens in Another Evening with Harry Stones.
Nice. In 1964, Abebe Bikila of Ethiopia ran a world record 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 11.2 seconds to beat Briton Basil Hentley by more than 4 minutes and win the men's marathon at the Tokyo Olympics. The first athlete to win Olympic marathon twice. Wow. That's cool. In 1964 as well. I'm sorry?
So they just built different.
Yeah, they are.
If
Well, I
they,
mean, like,
like,
generations and generations of, running around in the savannah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah, you kind of adapt to it, yeah.
the same thing with, like, if you look at a lot of, if you look at a lot of, black U.S. citizens,
Hmm.
um, they're just naturally, like, for the most part, a lot more muscular,
Hmm.
and like definition and tone and all that stuff,
Yeah,
uh, and that's just because of all the slavery, you know.
yeah, because they just adapted to their bodies adapted to it,
Mm-hmm.
so more built for they're more built for labor.
Mm-hmm. They were
I
like
mean,
so like like Bill Burr even made a comment about that in one of his bits. He was talking about like
hmm.
how Hitler was always like oh we're gonna make a superior race, and then he's like I think we already accidentally did that. Like because you have all
We
these
already
like
did.
all these black athletes just dunking on all the white guys. They're
Hmm.
flying over us. Like
There's like maybe one white dude that I think that could keep up with them in basketball, and he plays for the Mavericks, and like I think he goes by Luca, but he's a hell of a basketball player.
yeah.
Like he's really keeping up with those guys.
Well,
Like
you got to,
it's,
like because
it's
they're like
impressive.
not only like as I've said before, after generations now, like for the most part, not every black U.S. citizen has ancestry
Yeah.
like this, but a decent chunk of them do, and you get
Yeah.
that, mix it with actively training during your lifetime, and you're
Hmm.
gonna be like on a level that's just unattainable.
Yeah.
Like I could train
Exactly.
for my entire life. I'll never be that good because I don't have those genetics. You know, like it is a superior
Hmm.
race, more or less. As far as athletics
Yeah.
are concerned, they are.
That's why that's
So
the thing. Mark Felix, he's one of the oldest strongman competitors to date. He's one of the oldest, and he's still competing. Him, Nick Best, and Brian Shaw may be the oldest guys that still compete with one another. But Mark Felix is over 50 years old, and he holds the record for the Hercules hold.
that's astounding.
He is like, and this guy's about like 54, 55,
Yeah,
and he just he makes it look so easy.
yeah,
I'll have to show you a video later.
yeah.
I'll have to show you a video later on.
Yeah, let's
It's
move on
impressive.
up. Here's some more
All
from
right.
'64. We have a film version of My Fair Lady, directed by
Mhm.
George Cukor and starring Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn, premiered in New York, later to receive Academy Awards Best Picture in 1965. All
Oh,
right,
nice.
and here you go, some more in '64. Now we're stuck in this year again.
In 1964, Society Hill Towers, a complex of three 31-story skyscrapers.
Okay, okay.
Skyscrapers?
Scrape skiers.
Get stupid.
Eh. Anyway,
Designed by I.M. Pie. I.M. Pie? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
yum,
And Associates, inaugurated in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
nice. What a
Hey,
name.
3 hours from here.
I am pie. Like, oh, remember the
I
Key and
am.
Peele skit, the standoff, and then he turned out to be a blueberry pie. This is the guy, or maybe that's his dad.
I am Pie.
I am pie. God. 66. Oh,
In
jeez.
oh, in 1966, 116 children and 28 adults died as a coal waste heap slid and engulfed a school in Aberfan, South Wales.
Why is there a coal waste heap that close to a school? That's not good. Like,
That's a good question. Why would they have a coal waste heap that? Oh, jeez.
yeah, look at that. It's right there. It's their
Oh,
backyard.
oh my
Holy
God.
crap, dude. This is why we have zoning laws. Like,
This is
good
the
lord.
yep. That's the exact reason.
Yep. Um.
Oh,
Hmm. We got an election of interest here.
in 1969, German statesman Willy Brandt is elected Chancellor of West Germany, 1969 to 1974.
All right. And moving on up to 1971, Nobel Prize for Literature was awarded to Pablo Neruda. He was a poet of Chilean nationality. All right. We got some sports history. 1973, the Baseball World Series. Defending champion Oakland A's beat New York Mets 5-2 in Game 7 in Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum to retain title. The A's manager Dick Williams immediately quit. MVP was A's outfielder Reggie Jackson. Wow.
Could you scroll up a minute, like just really quick? I knew I seen something from NASCAR. I knew it.
Okay, take it.
In 1973, 23rd NASCAR Sprint Cup, Benny Parsons wins.
All right.
I think I know what race that was. Hang on, or I'll look it up. You can.
You and your NASCAR.
No, I just seen it. I was like, wait a second, I seen something there.
We got some music history. 1975, Elton John, the last Queen of England currently, is given a star in Hollywood. All right. I bet Elizabeth doesn't have a star in Hollywood. So, too late now.
Mm-hmm.
In 1976, you're still looking the thing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a Baseball World Series. Defending champion Cincinnati Reds sweep New York Yankees, beat Bombers 7-2 in Game 4 at Yankee Stadium. Most valuable player, Reds catcher Jimmy Bench. I wonder how many times he was benched, though.
I believe.
Do you believe?
Yeah, he won. Yeah, he won 1973. He won the NASCAR Premier Series championship in one of the most dramatic fashions in series history. He was also inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. He was a talented driver. He was.
You got some 1976 here's.
In 1976, Nobel Prize for Literature awarded to American Saul Bellow.
Huh. Yep.
Interesting.
Oh, here we go.
In 1976, the New York Knicks retire first number 19, Willis Reed.
Ah. That was the first number they retired.
Huh.
And 1979?
In 1979, Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs Moshe Dayan resigns.
Yeah, doesn't he look evil? Like...
He looks like an antagonist.
Yeah. Like,
he looks like number 2 from Austin Powers.
He kind of does, yeah.
He's got the eye patch and everything.
Number 2. Like, he's balding, he has a snark. Like, he's dressed business casual.
Real question is, wasn't who played as number 2?
Who played?
I forgot who played it. I thought it was for like a little bit there. I thought it was.
Robert. Actually, there's multiple people. Oh, I guess for the different.
Oh
ages.
yeah. I was gonna say I know Rob Lowe played as him in the second movie. He played the younger number 2.
Ah.
Because if you remember, they traveled back in time with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just has a photo of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he used to play for Bama.
Alabama.
Who rolled tide? Yeah.
Anyway, let's see here. 1979, the New York City Marathon. Bill Rogers won 4 straight men's title in 2 hours, 11 minutes, 42 seconds. Defending champion Greet Waltz of Norway took out women's event in 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 33 seconds. All right. We got some more sports history. In 1980, Baseball World Series, Philadelphia Phillies defeated Kansas City Royals 4-1 at Veterans Stadium to secure series 4-2. First championship in franchise history. Most valuable player was Phillies third baseman Mike Schmidt. All right.
That is such a generic name, Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt.
That's like the most generic white guy name you could ever come up with.
What about Dan Smith?
And John Doe. Well, actually, John Doe is used for examples.
John Smith, Stan Smith.
Yeah.
All these. Yeah.
Pretty much anything with the last name Smith. and
Donald
like
Smith.
something like Bill, or like Billy Bob.
Dude, like, I don't know why, but when I was younger, like, I thought of, like, what would my name be if I was, like, an old man? And I was like, how about Carl Schmoo?
Carl Schmoo. I just thought about it. What
Anyway,
was it?
we have an election
Yeah.
of interest here in 1980. Mikhail Gorbachev elected member of Politburo. Okay?
Interesting.
And you got some 1982 here.
In 1982, a private funeral service held for Bess Truman, former First Lady of the United States.
Ah. And then, if you want, there's one I just saw 2 years prior to it. You and your sports.
In 1980, Phillies win their first World Championship in their 98-year history.
Oh my god.
That's like a recurring theme with Philadelphia. They win champion. They have to win. They win their first championship after, and it takes them forever to win it because they suck for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, they get 1 year where they just pull a rabbit out of their hat and manage to win a championship. Just like how the Eagles did against the Patriots. Like that was like the most, like, I swear, Cowboys fans say that's the biggest fluke in NFL history.
Huh. When the Eagles fought the Tom Brady's?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they managed to beat them with Nick Foles, their backup quarterback. Who's that? I will say though, Nick Foles is a lot better than Carson Wentz. The stats don't show it, I don't think, but he is better. He's better than Wentz.
Well, you got an appointment of interest here in 1983.
Oh yeah. In 1983, Pope John Paul II names 3 new Dutch bishops.
Nice. You know, like, again, it's like story time. So, I had this Australian friend named Jess, and then ever since I started wearing crucifixes, he's just like, "Oh, why do you have a bleeding, half-naked dead Jew on your neck?" I'm like, "Oh, you're right." So then, like, I see this picture of John Paul II, and it's like, "Oh, nothing says religion than a half-naked, bleeding, dead Jew affixed to your staff." You're like, God.
I have a cross necklace on my here, but I never wear it. I don't wear it because I don't really back the whole Christian movement or anything. Or
Well,
the Catholic.
I wear this more as a symbol of love. Like when I got this from my sister. Yeah, no. Like I did consider myself a Christian when my sister bought this for me, and I have other crucifixes. This is the most recent one, the best one. But I wear it more of as a symbol of love now because I'm an omnist. I'm not just I'm not just a Christian or this or that. I'm in everything.
Yeah.
So, but I got some more driving stuff here in 1984.
In 1984, Austrian Ferrari driver Niki Lauda becomes a 3-time Formula One World Drivers' Champion when he finishes second in the season-ending Portuguese Grand Prix at Estoril, wins title by just 0.5 from Alain Prost.
That sounds close.
That's really close. That's like half a point.
Yeah. Dang.
Barely edged him. Barely edged past him, like.
How do you get points in NASCAR anyway? Like, you stay in the lead for certain periods of time and it ticks or something?
You get points based off of... So, they have a really dumb system now. I hate it. I'm completely against it. It's called the stage point system. Like, they added this into the playoffs already, and it was already bad. Like, it was already a bad system to begin with. It's already busted. Because, like, if you don't make the top 16 for a season, you're not in. Like, you don't have a chance to win the championship now. But that's the shit. That's the bullshit of the system.
How do you even get there, though? Like, if you get kicked out, how do you get back in?
You can't. You can't get pulled back in. That's the problem.
That's bullshit, dude.
I know, it's stupid. Like, the NFL, it's one thing, but NASCAR, it doesn't work. Like, the old system, everybody had a chance to win the entire season. Like, and the real problem was, like, the 04 system was okay, it was but the problem was that it screwed Dale Jr. out of a championship. That was the problem.
Oh,
And it did the
that's
same thing in 2015. It did the same exact thing.
wow.
And he, in 15, it would have been, if you take away that system, it was between him and Kyle Busch for the most wins. Actually, no. No, it would have been in 2014, it would have been, he would have won. He would have won in 2014. 15, debatable. He would have definitely made the championship 4, though, if Harvick wouldn't have screwed him over at Daga.
Dang. But
I'll
like,
have to show you that too.
yeah. So that sucks. Like,
Yeah.
so
Especially when you're a fan of them, it's heartbreaking.
yeah. No, like I was just curious, but like now I'm not because if it's a garbage system, I don't even want to know how it works. So
It's not even. It's a really stupid system. This year, it's a weird system. Like it really showed its colors this year.
huh.
Ryan Blaney was the only driver to not win a single race, and he's still in the playoffs. And there was 15 different winners.
Well, before we go
15.
too crazy with all this NASCAR talk, let's get back on
Or, yeah.
track here.
Sure.
Nobel Prize in '87.
Oh yeah, in 1987, Nobel Prize in Economics awarded to Robert Solow for his theory on economic growth.
Huh. All right.
Interesting.
Hmm.
In
Oh.
1988.
Yeah, this one.
Oh wait, there's another one right there. In 1988, the Boston Celtics beat Yugoslavia 113 to 85 in Madrid,
What?
which is in Spain.
Yeah. What? That's basketball, right?
Yep, that's basketball.
What the hell? So they defeated Yugoslavia. Okay.
The Celtics were actually just in last year's championship, but they lost to the Warriors.
Speaking of random sports things, I saw a funny meme the other day that like I remember hearing it like from Pokemon the first movie.
Oh,
There was
the original
there was a
movie?
scene when they were like when they were canoeing or something, like trying to get to the island,
Mhm.
and then like they were talking about like Vikings. It's like I had no idea Vikings still existed today. It's like they do, but they're mostly in Wisconsin or whatever.
Oh my god.
And like I didn't understand it at the time. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then I saw it the other day. I'm like, oh, I get it. And I know it was in the movie because I remember it. So
Tell you what, they got some loyal fans. They really do. You gotta respect them for that, despite having such a shit quarterback.
anyway, what happened in '88 here?
In 1988, Philippine former first couple Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos indicted on racketeering charges.
All right. Yeah, it sounded like there was more to it. You kind of like the way you ended it. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think she was the one who had all those shoes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Why don't you take us this last 89 here, Mr. Football, and then I'll take us up to 90.
Alrighty, in 1989, Houston becomes first major college team to gain 1,000 yards in a game.
Nice.
That would be. Oh yeah, that's college football. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I was like,
Yeah. Well, it
That's
says college
impressive.
team right there.
dude, that is seriously impressive.
Yeah.
1,000 yards in a game. That's unheard of.
You know what else is unheard of? When Heisman won that one game, 222 to nothing, or whatever. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
It was like
I see.
it
It's
was
still
over
bad.
200 points. I know that.
Oh yeah, they won so bad that they didn't even record it.
Huh.
Or I mean, they did somewhere, but they acted like it didn't happen.
It destroyed the tape with its power.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on into 1990, we have Ayrton Senna of Brazil crashed his McLaren during the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka, but clinched his second Formula One World Drivers' Championship. Well, all
Yeah.
right. In 1991, former California Governor Jerry Brown announced his run for the U.S. presidency. Yeah, no, this guy, no. I think this is the guy that we had a June fly outbreak or some kind of some kind of parasite, and
yeah.
and they started spraying everywhere, and they were just like, hey, like, it's safe to go outside, but you might want to cover your cars because they can eat the paint. It's like, if it's eating the
Hmm.
paint off my car, what the fuck's it gonna do to my lungs? Like, what are you blowing in our air? Jerry Brown, I think he's the guy who did that. So,
Hmm.
but then also moving on up one more year to 1992, Madonna's book Sex went on sale. Wow, how common. So,
Oh wow, how unsurprising of Madonna.
yeah, what's that? She's a prostitute? I had no idea.
Oh yeah. Oh, who would have thunk?
Huh. Anyway, what happened in 1993 here?
In 1993, Garry Kasparov defeats Nigel Short for chess championship.
Kiwi. You gotta put your lips in tight. Kiwi.
Garry.
Kiwi.
Garry. He's Garry the snail. Meow.
Meow. Anyway, I'm gonna do the split here and now. So let's see here. Bloop. Bloop. Alright. Moving on up into the next millennium. What happened in 2001? Here we go.
In 2001, United We Stand benefit concert for September 11th, 2001, terrorist attacks victims, held at RFK Stadium, Washington, D.C., organized and headlined by Michael Jackson, and featuring Aerosmith, Mariah Carey, and the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And ooh, here we go. Some more racing for you.
Ah. In 2007, Finnish Ferrari driver Kimi Räikkönen wins season-ending Brazilian F1 Grand Prix to claim his first World Drivers' Championship by 1 point over Lewis Hamilton.
Dang.
It's funny, Kimi actually retired. He went into a NASCAR race this past season. He was doing really well, but then somebody dumped him and put him in the wall. And I felt bad for the guy because he was running really well. Like, he was content. Like, he could have very well, given him enough time, could have very well won that race.
Now I have a question. Like, I know that, like, with auto racing and such, like, every pound you can shed, every little thing of weight, helps. So I'm wondering, like, how heavy is a beard? I'm wondering if this guy shaved his beard, would he, like, shave like a quarter second off of his final time or something? Like,
I don't know if beards really weigh much, because I know most don't really weigh much at all.
yeah, it still
It's
weighs
really
something.
but they're more, in terms of F1, they're more worried about taking the weight off the car. They want the drivers to be like lightweight. They want them to be maybe like 5'10" at the most.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Cruise sized.
if you have a beard, it probably weighs like what, a gram or something. I don't
Maybe.
know. Like,
It weighs a little bit, but I think that would be more of a big deal in swimming than it would in F1 because you
Well,
have
of
a helmet
course.
on. Because you have like a whole helmet on, so you'd be fine.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
well, I'm
no,
not talking about aerodynamics, or hydrodynamics.
Yeah,
I'm talking
in
purely
terms of
weight.
weight.
Like, probably it's so small it's negligible. I don't know. So
I don't think it would make a huge difference because, I mean, Verstappen could have had like the longest hair on the planet and the longest beard on the planet and still won the races that he did
uh,
this past year.
well, moving on up to 2012, we have canonization. Kateri Tekakwitha was canonized as the first Native American saint by Pope Benedict the 16th.
Hmm.
All right. Is it
Nice.
just me though, or does his eyes look like they're separating, crossed?
Oh, he's got the lazy eye.
Okay.
That's pretty normal.
All
Lazy eye is a pretty normal thing at old age.
Yeah. 2013, the Parliament of Canada conferred honorary Canadian citizenship on women's rights and education activist Malala Yousafzai, or Fazai, or whatever. She was the one who got shot, right? Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she's the one who got shot 3 times trying to board her school bus when she was still in high school. So,
mm-hmm.
and in 2015, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, boo, said German view of Holocaust will not change after Benjamin Netanyahu said idea came from Mufti of Jerusalem. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I don't understand the significance of this. Like, do they view the Holocaust in a bad way?
I have no idea.
I mean, like, like obviously everything's a bad way, but like, I mean, like, do they view it in a socially unacceptable way. Is what I mean.
It's like,
In a way that we don't view it. I don't know.
It's like the question is, how does Germany even view it?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm not even gonna look it up. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to know. What happened in 2017?
In 2017, a Spanish government suspends Catalonia's autonomy in the face of deepening political crisis over the region's push for independence.
Ah, yeah, they're trying to crush Catalonia. That's not cool.
Hmm.
Oh, you got another one here, 2018.
In 2018, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is presented with the Mark Twain Prize, comedy's top honor, at a ceremony in New York.
All right.
She must be pretty damn funny to get that.
It says here she's a Seinfeld comedienne.
Oh,
Whatever a comedian is, but
oh no, that's a female comedian. That's because you know how like there's a steward and a stewardess and all that, like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, that makes no sense. Why can't they both, be called a comedian?
I mean, they're both considered comedians, but they also have like technical terms outside of that.
That's kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
Like host and hostess, okay. Steward and stewardess, okay.
Yeah.
But then, hero and then heroine, comedian, comedienne,
Yeah.
like
It's like,
I don't know. Anyway, 2019 Canadian federal election, Justin Trudeau, aka Fidel Castro's son, his Liberal Party lost its majority but won the most seats, which is 157, to form a minority government. And it's not good. So, then we got some music awards. 2020, 2 years ago, the 54th CMT Music Video Awards, or Country Music Television Music Awards, I believe. Carrie Underwood and Luke Bryan won. All right. And then 2020 as well, Pope Francis backed same-sex civil unions in interview in documentary film Francisco. All right. I don't know what to say. And then, it's already been a year? Wow.
holy sh!
2021, just last year, actor Alec Baldwin shot cinematographer Helena Hutchins dead and injured director Joel Souza with a prop gun in rehearsal on a film set at Bonanza Ranch, New Mexico. Now, a prop gun is not a fake gun. It is a real gun. All guns you see, in gun shows and such, like I went to Tombstone last year. It's been about a year.
Yeah.
And, they'd had the shootout at the OK Corral thing, Those are real guns. If you put a live round of ammunition in it, it will act like a real gun because it is a real gun. They just put in blanks or fake, ammo or whatever in there for it to be a prop gun. It's not a prop gun. It's a real gun with prop ammo. So that's the actual thing right there. So, anyway, before we move on into Burst and Deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything that you want us to elaborate on? Anything that you know that you would like us to know? Open up a dialogue down in the comments section. Let's move on up into Bursts. Why don't you start us off today here in 1449?
In 1449, George Gagi, Duke of Clarence, brother of Edward IV and Richard III, died in 1478.
Huh.
Wait, he's the third Dick?
The
third Dick.
Oh, God. Chernobyl!
No!
It's growing, and it's bigger than the original. It's growing rapidly. It's like it's like a time lapse video of a branch. Oh my God. Anyway, who else was born on this date?
Excuse me.
I've never heard of the year.
Yeah, in the year. English romantic poet, rhyme of ancient mariner, born in Ottery, St. Mary, Devon, England. I think it was in 1772.
What was his name?
1772. Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Ah. You almost said Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
I almost called him cholera.
Samuel Terror Cholera. The Terror Cholera. Oh my
Cholera?
god.
You mean the black shits?
This one chases after you in your nightmares. Anyway, we have Alfred Nobel, born on this date in 1833. He was a Swedish chemist who invented dynamite and founded the Nobel Prizes. Born in Stockholm, Sweden, dying in 1896. The man, the myth, the legend. Because of him, we have war. So
he is the Nobel Prize.
yeah, he is the Nobel Prize.
And he with a side dish of dynamite.
Yes.
Explosive.
Explosive.
Which is funny, we actually do that. That's like one of the most useful things that we have.
Yeah,
they use that to make gas lines.
Yeah, it was intended, for mining and everything, and it was used for mining and such. But then, we found out, hey, if we pack it really tight in a cylindrical thing, we can launch, metal projectiles at each other at tremendous speeds from great distances. So, yeah. We always find some way to kill each other with even the most peaceful of things. So. Then we have Whitey Ford, 1928, a U.S. Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher, 10-time MLB All-Star, World Series 1950, 53, 56, 58, 61, in which he was MVP in that one, as well as 62, American League Cy Young Award in 1961 for the New York Yankees, born in New York City, New York, dying 2 years ago in 2020. So, October 8th.
Well, he died of old age. I was going to say, if he died of COVID, I'd be like, damn. Like, damn China.
Oh, yeah. Well, at 91. So.
He died of old age. Most likely. Holy shit, wait. She's 80 today?
Yeah, 1942.
Hey, in what? 42.
Yeah, 1942.
In 1942, American jurist and television personality Judge Judy, born in Brooklyn, New York.
What's her name?
I like her show. It's Judith Schindlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool. She seems like a cool person.
She's no nonsense. She's great. I remember seeing this one thing where this common female thought she was entitled to be the only parent for the child. It's like, no, it's part yours and part his. You got to understand and accept that. Yada yada. You made that together. It's, your kid is not your property. She reamed into her hard, and we need more Judge Judys. We need more people we gotta start shaming people back into fucking sanity.
Yeah.
So.
We do.
Anyway, this guy here, 1949.
In 1949, Benjamin Netanyahu, ninth Israeli Prime Minister from 1996 to 1999, and 2009 to 2021, born in Tel Aviv, Israel. Interesting.
Used to be Tel Aviv, Palestine, but no.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, 1956, a U.S. actress. She was Princess Leia in Star Wars, When Harry Met Sally, and she was also in The Blues Brothers. She was the crazy ex-girlfriend who kept trying to kill the guy. She was also a writer for Postcards from the Edge, born in Burbank, California, dying in 2016. I did not know she was born out here in Cali. So, that would explain her big old coke nail during episode 7. So... Have you ever seen it? When she's in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon in episode 7, the newer one, when they introduced Finn and Kylo Ren and all that stuff.
Yeah.
She was she had her hand over someone's shoulder, and she has a big old coke nail. Actually, let's see here. This is the. Okay, so this is the original. Yeah, she has one right here. Yeah, so I was wrong. It's the original one, not the newer one. So that's kind of funny and sad at the same time. Then we have piece of trash in 1980, Kim Kardashian, a U.S. media and TV personality, keeping up with the Kardashian, and businesswoman, born in Los Angeles, California. Well, that explains everything. She was born out here in L.A. No wonder she's a nut job.
If only she had a better personality.
Or if she had one to begin with.
Yeah, if she had at least a somewhat decent personality, I'd at least like her a little bit.
No, if she had a personality, period. Like,
Yeah, if she had one at all, then I'd
yeah,
probably actually like her then.
maybe. Then this guy, 1993.
Kane Brown. It's his 29th birthday today.
Yeah.
American country singer-songwriter experiment, born in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, wooga. Oh, this
Oh
one.
my god.
95.
Doja Cat, American rapper and singer-songwriter, known for Hot Pink, born in Los Angeles, California.
Dude, look at her actual name.
Amala Retna Zendil Lamini.
It sounds like an incantation. Ambala, ratana, sandale, dalami, salami, pastrami.
Sounds like a spell.
I know, right? Moving on into death, starting us off in 1125, we have Cosmas of Prague, a Bohemian writer, birth is unknown. And then we have Horatio Nelson. We spoke about him earlier into the main body. Died on the state in 1805. He was a British admiral and war hero, dying in Battle of Trafalgar at the age of 47. He was born in 1758. 47, that's not
Define
bad.
war hero.
War hero, yeah.
The British. I wouldn't call that a war hero.
Oh, well, look at all of his badges, like, and his epaulets.
He's British war hero. He's a war hero to the British, but not us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hell, he beat our allies, bro. Beat our allies in battle. Couldn't beat us.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did fight us. He did.
Yeah.
I can confirm he did, but he didn't do. He sucks. He lost to farmers. He sucks. I mean, we almost did too, but like.
Well, we did lose to farmers.
Well, we did, but like. But that was like Vietnam, though. We don't count Canada.
Oh yeah, that's true. The only time the U.S. fought Canada, we lost. So, let that be a lesson. Don't fight the hockey stick people. They'll ride in on moose and sprinkle us with maple syrup. Anyway, who else died today? 1969.
American novelist and poet of the Beat Generation, Jack Kerouac. Kerouac. On the road at Mexico Blues, dies of cirrhosis of the liver at 47.
That sucks. Oh, this guy.
John T. Scopes, American teacher convicted for teaching evolution.
Yeah, that actually happened.
Scopes, Monkey Trail, 1925, dies of cancer at 70. In 1970.
Yep.
That's a ridiculous reason to try to convict somebody of.
Well, I mean, because of what happened to him, we are able to say that's ridiculous. If we were in a society that still was like all about creationism, then we would be the ones who would be ridiculous. Half
of our population's still under that impression that God did all the work, but he didn't do shit. He's not even. I mean, they can believe whatever they want to believe, but like
God just made everything. All the stuff that's happening is like just of design. So.
Have you ever heard the old the traditional Chinese explanation behind the world being made?
What?
It was made from an egg.
Huh. Of course it was. Anyway,
I mean,
we got.
the world is. Oh, anywho, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we got Ben Bradley. He died on the state in 2014. He was a U.S. editor, journalist, and newspaper executive. Washington Post. Died at the age of 93.
Huh. Interesting.
And that concludes the show. Once again, you can check the underbar, the description, for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 o'clock Pacific Time.
And 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I was A.O. Xander.
And I am the Slayer.
The Slayer.
The Slayer.
And you, audience member, of course, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, or later on today, actually, we have a news show in 3 hours here. if you want, at 2 p.m. Pacific time. The Omni Coalition News Show. Anyway, whenever you do so wish to see us again, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!